Hi friends, good day. I hope you might have gone through the problems which I have explained in my previous sessions. Uh, Today's class, I'll be going to teach you the when you are having the receiver, you need to prepare receiver statement of accounts. Or who is receiver and what is that he needs to prepare, that we'll be working out today. So we are having one problem here in the material. Just a minute. Yeah, this one, the 10th one. Prepare accounts to be submitted by receiver and liquidator. Okay, coming back to this now, before I work out this problem, let me tell you, we have seen the liquidator preparing liquidator's final statement of account is nothing but I told you is like a summary of receipts and payments account. The assets realized by the liquidator, and that amount has been used for meeting the liabilities, and the order we have learned like liquidator remuneration, liquidator expenses, then payment to debenture holders, preferential creditors and unsecured creditors, and then finally to the preference shareholders. If any areas of dividend is there, that is to be paid. And then we have also discussed about how to uh, adjust the deficiency, like we have worked out the formula, and that has been explained. So same thing you continue here, but one more statement prior to this liquidator final statement account you prepare is receiver statement account. Sir, what do you mean by this? So generally what happened, like if a company has failed to make a payment to the debenture holders, um, or the mortgagee, uh, the the debenture holders who are having floating charge on all assets generally may go for appointing a receiver if they are permitted to do so, or through appointment by filing a petition and getting the order from the court for appointment of a receiver. Such receiver will be taking over the charge of the assets, and after making the payments to the persons who are having the priority over making payment to debenture holders, and after meeting the receiver, the receiver is appointed by the either by the debenture holders or by the court. The main purpose of appointing him is to get back the debts of them, get back debts which are due by the company to them. Due by the company to them means due by company to debenture holders. So when before making payment to debenture holders, if anybody is having the priority of making the payment, like you, whatever the priority, whoever is having the priority of making the payment, like there's a mortgage loan, say for example, that mortgage loan has to be adjusted because that mortgage, the property has been mortgaged and other than debenture holders, and that has to be cleared like that. Whereas having the priority, after meeting that, after making the payment to them, then then the amount will be paid to debenture holders. Of course, after adjusting his remuneration or his expenses, the receiver. So previously we have learned about liquidator. Liquidator is going to clear off the all liabilities. Now, since debenture amount which is due to debenture holders are going to be cleared by the receiver, previously the amount which is due to debenture holders was taken to liquidator final statement of account. Now that you are not going to show in liquidator statement of account, that will be taken care by the receiver. So whatever the amount that is due to debenture holders, it will be paid, and then after making the payment to debenture holders, including any interest, and finally any surplus which is there, and that will be um, taken over by the liquidator. And then liquidator, the assets which has not been realized by the receiver, and those assets will be subsequently realized by the liquidator. So that means you are having two statements. One is prepared by the receiver for making the payment to debenture holders. The other statement is prepared by the liquidator. Only the difference is that what we have learned in the previous problem, this problem is that what are the amount that is due to debenture holders or mortgage loan, etc., will be cleared by the receiver If there is any surplus, that surplus will be handed over to liquidator. And liquidator, if the assets which has not been realized by the receiver will be realized by the liquidator. And for whatever the asset that has been realized by him, on that he will be getting some remuneration. So now we are having two things here. One is the remuneration of receiver or expenses incurred by receiver. The other one is remuneration of liquidator and expense included by the expenses incurred by the liquidator. That means we need to prepare two statement of accounts. Okay, we need to prepare two statement of accounts. The simple thing, this is, you can expect surprisingly in 2018, I think you got 16 marks question. If you are going to get 16 marks question like that, you are so lucky to score the marks. I think this is a simple topic. We're having almost same models, three problems we are having. I think one problem, if you work out the remaining two problems is the same model, you can work out. But having said, let us see first. So I would like to dictate few things on the receiver for debenture holders. If you are ready, take the notebook and copy down this. So whatever the problems I have been working out, I hope you all are copying down, as you have said me. You told me earlier that we are copying down. It is always better to have in writing, so that instead of again looking at wasting of time, if you practice, it will be useful to you. I hope you all are following that. So please make a note kindly. The heading: receiver for debenture holders. The receiver for debenture holders. The receiver for debenture holders. The receiver for debenture holders. Okay, the receiver for debenture holders. The receiver for debenture holders. Okay, the terms of issue. Receiver for debenture holders. The terms of issue of debentures. The terms of issue of debentures may give express power. May give express power to the debenture holders. May give express power to the debenture holders to appoint a receiver. To appoint a receiver. To appoint a receiver on failure of the company. The terms of issue of debentures may give express power to debenture holders to appoint a receiver on failure of the company to pay them their interest, to pay them their interest or the installment, to pay them their interest or the installment on the due date, on the due date, or on liquidation, or on liquidation of the company, or on liquidation of the company. Okay, in case of liquidation, this is what we are talking about now. We are in the chapter called as liquidation. In case of liquidation, debenture holders may appoint. In case of liquidation, debenture holders may appoint an independent person. Debenture holders may appoint an independent person as receiver, to take over the assets, to take over the assets specifically, to take over the assets specifically or generally, To take out the assets specifically or generally charged. Specifically or generally charged in their favor. To take over the assets specifically or generally charged in their favor. What are the assets that has been specifically or generally charged, and he is taking control of those assets by the receiver, and he starts realizing that, and he starts making payment. We are having priority for making payment, priority for making payment, and that amount will be paid by the receiver, and then the remaining amount including outstanding interest will be paid to debenture holders. Clear? So now generally or specifically or generally charged in their favor. Continuation. The receiver will realize such assets. The receiver will realize such assets, and after meeting his expenses, the receiver will realize such assets, and after meeting his expenses, remuneration, the receiver will realize such assets, and after meeting his expenses, remuneration, and making payment is expenses, remuneration, and making payment to claimants. Claimants means who is having the claims. To claimants entitled to get payment in priority to the debenture holders. Claimants entitled to get payment in priority to the debenture holders. I repeat once again, the receiver will realize such assets, and after meeting his expenses, remuneration, and making payment to claimants entitled to get payment in priority to the debenture holders, he will make payment to the debenture holders. That means first he is meeting his expenses, remuneration, then he is making payment to the people who are having the due prior to debenture holders. Then after that, the amount will be paid to the debenture holders. The receiver will, continuation, full stop, continuation. The receiver will hand over the surplus. The receiver will hand over the surplus, if any. The receiver will hand over the surplus, if any, to the liquidator. The receiver will hand over the surplus, if any, to the liquidator of the company. The receiver will hand over the surplus, if any, to the liquidator of the company, so that later may make the payment, so that the later may make the payment to the claimants who are to get the payment after debenture holders. The receiver will hand over the surplus. I told you, after making the payment to the debenture holders, the surplus will be handed over by the receiver to the liquidator. Then liquidator, what he will be doing? Liquidator of the company, so that later may make payment to the claimants who are to get the payment after debenture holders. That means here later means liquidator will be making payment to the amount due to the creditors other than debenture holders. Clear? So to get the payment after the debenture holders. Full stop. Continuation. Thus, next line. You go for next line. Thus, if a receiver is appointed by the debenture holders, next line. Thus, if a receiver is appointed by the debenture holders to protect their interest, to protect their interest, two statements of accounts, two statements of accounts, namely receiver's statement of account, two statements of accounts, namely receiver's statement of account and liquidator's final statement of account, and liquidator's final statement of account will have to be prepared, and liquidator's final statement of account will have to be prepared. Receiver statement of account and liquidator's final statement of account will have to be prepared. So now in today's class we are going to work out the problem number 10 to explain whatever I have given here. These things we work out now. Okay. The summarized balance sheet of Vasant Limited as on 31st March 2013 being the date of voluntary winding up is as under. Share capital we are having issued 10% preference shares of 10 each 1,50,000, 10,000 equity shares of 10 rupees each 1 lakh, 5,000 equity shares of rupees 10 each 8 rupees per share called up 40,000. 13% debentures 1,50,000, mortgage loan 70,000, bank overdraft 30,000, trade creditors 38,000, income tax arrears assessment concluded in February 2013. Now this will come under preferential creditors, no? Okay. Now come back to this. Land and buildings, sundry current assets, penal account, debentures issue, expenses not written off. Okay. Mortgage loan was secured against land and building. Debentures were secured by floating charges on all assets. Company was unable to meet the payments and therefore debenture holders appoint a receiver for the debenture holders. He brought the land and buildings to auction and realized 1,60,000. He also took charge of sundry assets of value 2,36,000, realized 2 lakhs. You try to understand this here. Mortgage loan was secured against land and building. Debentures were secured by floating charge on all assets. The company was unable to meet the payments and therefore debenture holders appointed a receiver for the debenture holders. He brought the land and buildings to auction and realized 1,60,000. On this land and building, what are the land and building? 1,30,000 land and building has been realized for 1,60,000. But you can see the land and building mortgage loan was secured. That means even you have realized it, first you need to make a payment for 70,000. No? So it means prior to making payment, since there is a specific charge on this particular land and building, so out of 1,60,000 which he got on land and building, how much has to be paid? 70,000 has to be paid. So prior to making payment to debenture holders or preferential creditors, you know that preferential creditors are having priority of payment before you make payment to debenture holders. Here income tax is nothing but preferential creditors. You can take them as preferential creditors having preferential payments. So out of 1,60,000, 70,000 will be adjusted. 1,60,000 minus 70 means you'll be getting 90,000. This 90,000 is the amount that is available with the receiver. And not only that, he is also having some other amount. He bought land and buildings to auction, realized 1,60,000. He also took charge of sundry assets value 2,36,000. Not the entire. Only he has taken sundry assets of to the extent of 2,36,000. That means he has not taken all sundry assets. He has only taken part of sundry assets and that realized 2 lakhs. That means now the amount which is available with the receiver appointed by the debenture holders 1,60,000 minus 70. 70 is mortgage loan. 1,60,000 minus 70, 90,000 is the amount that is available with the receiver, and also now 2 lakhs. That means 90,000 plus 2 lakhs. How much is having now? Receiver is having 2 lakh 90,000. I've told you, I've just now dictated notes to you. In that, first he need to meet his remuneration and expenses. Okay, that I'll come back to that. Just wait. So for the time being, you got the receiver is having 2,90,000 worth of cash with him. This 2,90,000, how he is going to use that we discuss later on. Now, there's one more point. The bank overdraft was secured by personal guarantee of the directors of the company, and on the bank raising a demand, the directors paid off the due from their personal resources. So here, the bank overdraft is secured by personal guarantee. This bank overdraft secured by personal guarantee, and this has been cleared by directors. So that means company owes amount to, this is company liability, not director's liability, but since they have given personal guarantee, the bank has sanctioned bank overdraft. So then, since they have given personal guarantee, the company was unable to make a payment. The directors have made the payment. So bank overdraft now has become liability which is due to directors. So liability which is due to directors means it is nothing but unsecured, simple words, and that you will be showing as a payment made by the liquidator but not the receiver, because receiver is only concerned about payment to debenture holders, or whoever is having priority before debenture holders. For them, the amount will be paid by the receiver. So the remaining payments will be made by liquidator. Clear to all of you? Simple words, overdraft was secured by personal guarantee, and that overdraft has been cleared by the directors. Now, the liquidator will be clearing the amount which is due to directors. Say instead of companies being paid, since they have given personal guarantee, they have made payment from their personal pocket, and that amount will become due to the directors. Instead of the amount which is due to bank will become due to directors. That's it. That will be taken to liquidator final statement. And then, clear to all of you? The directors paid off the due from their personal resources. Now, cost incurred by the receiver were 1950, and whereas cost incurred by liquidator is 3,000. This will be taken to liquidator statement, and this will be taken to cost incurred by receiver 1950 and by the liquidator 3,000. So this will be taken to receiver statement, and this will be taken to liquidator statement. The receiver was not entitled to any remuneration. If there is any remuneration, we calculate. But the liquidator was to receive 2% fee on the value of assets realized by him. What are the value of assets that is going to be realized by him? He is going to entitled to get 2%. Preference shareholders has not been paid dividend for the period after 31st March 2011. So after 31st March 2011 means we are having 2 years. You can see 31st March 13. That means the dividend was, arrears of dividend was due for 31st March 12 and 31st March 13. That means I told you, we assume that the articles of association is entitled for making payment arrears of dividend. These notes also I have dictated when I was explaining liquidator final statement of account. So this 2 years dividend is to be paid. Last class we have seen 2 years dividend was outstanding in the previous classes, or 1 year dividend was outstanding. Now in this case he has given the date, he has not given the number of years. That we have ascertained. Last dividends, preference shareholders has not been paid dividend for period after 31st March. That means up to 31st March 2011 dividend was paid. So 31st March 2012 dividend was not paid. 31st March 2013 dividend was also not paid, because your closing books on 31st March 13 means liquidator process has started on 31st March 2013. Therefore, the 2 years dividend we need to calculate. Okay, 2 years dividend how to calculate? You know that preference share capital 1,50,000, 1,50,000, 10%, 15,000. 2 years means it is coming to 30,000. Arrears of dividend is 30,000, and amount that is due to preference shareholders is 1,50,000. Clear? Then next, the rest of the assets were realized. Rest of the assets means here, clear? Rest of assets in this case is nothing but sundry assets to the extent of 2,36,000. What is sundry assets book value? sundry assets, current assets 4,36,000. No, 4,36,000, out of which 2,30,000 has been realized. So 4,36 minus 2,36,000 means remaining 2 lakhs assets were realized by liquidator. Rest of assets were realized means who has realized this? Liquidator has realized. Because he said only receiver has realized two assets. One is land and building and the other one is sundry assets. The balance of sundry assets. Rest of assets means balance of assets. Balance of sundry assets. Who has realized by liquidator for 1,50,000. This will be taken to liquidator remuneration. On this 1,50,000, 2% remuneration charged by liquidator. Clear to all of you? Now, sir, what are the liabilities which will be taken to receiver? The debentures will be taken to receiver. Mortgage loan will be taken to receiver. Bank overdraft, personal guarantee, it will be taken to L means liquidator statement, R means receiver. Trade creditors will be taken to liquidator. Preferential creditors will be taken to receiver. Simple words, any liabilities which is having priority over debenture holders will be paid by the receiver. So you know preferential creditors are having priority over debenture holders. Even statement of FS also we have learned. But when we have done the problem of liquidator final statement account, I told you as per procedure format, we have written debenture holders first and preferential creditors second. But when you are having two statements, please remember preferential creditors are having priority. So this will be also paid by the receiver. Okay. Land and buildings realized by receiver. Sundry current assets, part of the sundry assets realized by receiver, and other remaining part is being realized by the liquidator. Clear to all of you? And these preference shares, etc., will be taken to which account? Liquidator statement of account. Clear to all of you? Like this, you need to have a clarity of thought when you are doing it. And about other expenses, this is about summary of cash book. Let us not worry about P&L account, debentures, expenses not written off. Even previous problems also we have ignored it. So shall we start doing the problems now? Shall we start doing this problem now? Okay, let me begin this now. So the first heading I will be writing is receivers, receivers, receipts and payment account. Then second account which I prepare is liquidators final statement of account. Okay. Liquidator final statement of account. I think this is about the previous classes which we have worked out. I think I have not erased it. Just a minute, my dear friends. Hello. Okay. So there is issue. Just a minute, my dear friends. I think there's some issue. Just a minute. Let me repeat once again. Receivers, receipts and payment account. This is the account we need to open. And then second account which I need to open is liquidators final statement of account. Okay. Now, first let me start with receivers, receipts and payment account. Left hand side, like you know that we are writing the receipts. Again, receives, receipts and payment account. That itself is saying that the receipts will be written on the left hand side, payments will be written on the right hand side. Okay. Come back to this now. As I told you first, what is the amount that has been realized? He brought the land and buildings to auction, realized 1,60,000. Sundry assets have been realized for 2 lakhs. So let me start with this. Sundry assets. Sundry assets realized. On this, there is no mortgage. loan. It's only debenture holders are having the right. Debenture holders are having the right on all assets, including the mortgage loan, the surplus that is also available for whom? Debenture holders. Sundry assets realized. It is 2 lakhs. We have seen that. Then surplus received from mortgage loan. Surplus received from mortgage loan. How you got surplus? Sale proceeds of land and building 1,60,000. Sale proceeds of land and building 1,60,000. Less applied to discharge of mortgage loan. Applied discharge of mortgage loan is 70,000. 1,60,000 minus 70, it is coming to 90,000 rupees. Clear? This already I have explained. Now coming back to payment. We got here the expenses, cost incurred by the receiver. So cost of the receiver. Cost of the receiver 1,950. Cost of the receiver 1,950. Then I told you preferential creditors will come under this. Income tax, preferential creditors. It is also called as preferential payments. You can also call it preferential payment. That is income taxes. Raised within 12 months. Income tax raised in 12 months is 25,000. Then after that, you can see in the problem he says that interest for the last half year was due to the debenture holders. So now the next payment to whom? Debenture holders. So 13% debentures on 1,50,000, interest accrued is for 6 months. The instruction has been given. The interest for the last half year was due to the debenture holders. So that we need to calculate on 1,50,000 at the rate of 13%. So next, debenture holders. Payment to debenture holders. Principal amount 1,50,000 principal amount and interest for half year. Interest for half year is 9,750. How you got it? 1,50,000 into the rate of interest is here 13%, no? 13% into 6 by 12, it will be coming to 9,750. If you want, you can cross check, you'll be getting the same amount. So 1,50,000 into 13% into 6 by 12. So it is coming to 1,59,750. 1,59,750. Then that's it. Now the remaining, what are the surplus you are having, that will be given back to whom? The debenture holders. Clear to all of you? That the difference, the balance, what are the balance amount you are having will be paid to, sorry, not debenture holders, sorry, to the liquidator. Clear? So let me go for totaling of it now. The total is 2,90,000 here. Two lakh 90,000 minus 1950 minus 25,000 minus 1,59,750. It is coming to 1,03,300. This 1,03,300 will be given back to liquidator. So surplus transfer to the liquidator. Surplus transfer to liquidator. It is coming to 1,03,300. Okay, I repeat once again. These are the assets realized by receiver, sundry assets realized, and then land and building also realized. But on that, since loan is there, after clearing the loan, 90,000 is the amount which is available. Now, prior to making payment to debenture holders, first you need to meet the expense of the cost of the expenses or remuneration. In this problem, we don't have any remuneration or receiver. Sometimes we'll be giving remuneration. Remuneration, if that is the case, according to the instruction, you need to calculate, like on sundry assets realized, on land and building realized. If that instruction is given, you know how to calculate. So in this problem, there is no remuneration. So cost of the receiver, preferential payment, income tax raised within 12 months. Okay, then we got after that preferential payment means preferential creditors, then the amount will be paid to debenture holders. In the problem, he has given 6 months interest is outstanding, so principal amount plus interest, and I think that amount has been paid. So once amount has been paid, debenture holders are happy, receiver is happy. Balance amount, whatever that is with the receiver, will be handed over to liquidator. So this amount is nothing but balancing figure. This is nothing but balancing figure. Okay, then next one, second point, we have to go for liquidator final statement of account. So now here I am starting again. Here I should write receipts and payment. Receipts and payment. So here I am writing surplus received from receiver, 1,03,300. We have seen now 1,03,300. Then here he has given rest of the assets realized at 1,50,000. That is balance of assets realized by liquidator. So assets realized for 1,50,000, no? 1,50,000. Now we got here liquidation expenses 3,000, and is also expecting remuneration of 2%. Okay, so now %2 on 1,50,000. It is coming to 3,000. %2 on 1,50,000 is coming to 3,000. Then cost of liquidation, you can use the word, or liquidation expenses. Just for a change, for this I am using the term cost of liquidation. You can also use liquidation expenses. it is coming to, in the problem it has been mentioned 3000. Okay. Then now you need to make a payment to trade creditors. Here is nothing but unsecured creditors. Unsecured creditors, trade creditors. I'm writing in the inner column 38,000. And I've also told you that there's a bank overdraft. This bank overdraft has been as a personal guarantee cleared by directors. So now amount due to directors is unsecured. So this 30,000 rupees is also to be taken as unsecured creditors. Okay. So directors for bank overdraft cleared. Amount due to directors for bank overdraft cleared. What is the bank overdraft they have cleared? 30,000. So this will be taken as unsecured creditors. So 38,000 plus 30,000, it is coming to 68,000. Then amount due to preferential shareholders. So I told you preferential shareholders. Preference share capital, or let me write preference areas of dividend. I have already explained 2 years areas of dividend is due. Areas of dividend, I told you up to 31st March 11 was paid. It means 31st March 12, 31st March 13, 2 years areas of dividend. Areas of dividend for how many years? 2 years. What is preference share capital? 10%. So 1,50,000 brackets into 10% is rate of dividend into 2 years, it is coming to 30,000. Then capital is 1,50,000. Now we need to see whether we got sufficient amount or not, because in this problem I think I have not paid any attention to this, because these two adjustments we have learned in last class. Previous 1 or 2 problems we have worked out. We are having two category of shares. I am assuming this as a category or B category. Here 10 rupees, 10 rupees is common. Here fully paid, partly paid. I think this partly paid amount can be called when amount we are having deficiency, that we can work out. Okay. That we have already, you have seen in the last class how to work out that. Now coming back to this now. So 1,50,000 plus 30 is coming to 1,80,000. Now then after that whether we got sufficient amount or not, let us see first. Excuse me. So let me take the calculator, see this. 1,50,000 plus 1,03,300. 1,03,300 plus 1,50,000. So normally we have learned how to write this. Let me go for working note, then it will be easy instead of repeating the same thing again. Calculation of refund or receipt. Calculation of refund or receipt. To equity shareholders. Calculation of refund or receipt. Here I am writing to or from. Calculation of refund to equity shareholders or from equity shareholders, that we'll be writing here, because we are having second category of shareholder where 2 rupees is the amount which is due, no? So here what is that I am writing? Total equity capital paid up. Total equity capital paid up. What is total equity capital paid up? 1 lakh plus 40, no? It is coming to 1,40,000 less balance available. First I am starting with the receipt side here. 1,03,300 plus 1,50,000 minus payments made here. What are the payment that has been paid? 3,000, 3,000, minus 3,000, minus 3,000, minus 68,000, minus 1,80,000. So 1,03,300 plus 1,50,000 plus minus 3,000 minus 3,000 minus 68,000 minus 18,000 minus 1,03,300 plus 1,50,000 plus minus 3,000 minus 3,000 minus 68,000 minus 1,80,000. 700. 700 negative amount we are having. Here balance available is deficiency to preference shareholders. See, previous problems when we have done liquidator, we are having deficiency to equity. Now we are also having deficiency to preference shareholders. This also has to be brought by the person who is having 8 rupees paid up, no, partly paid up. I think this we need to collect from the contributor. How much we need to collect and how much we need to pay. So that as usual, what we have done earlier, the same thing I am doing it. So total equity share paid, equity paid up capital 1,50,000 deficiency. So now it is coming to total deficiency. What is total deficiency? 1,40,700. This is this deficiency to be borne by how many equity shareholders are having? You can see 15,000. I told you when we can take this number. When the face value for both the categories are same, I told you can take number 10,000 plus 5,000, 15,000. Deficiency to be borne by, or deficiency you can also call it the loss, to be borne by 15,000. 15,000 equity shareholders. 15,000 equity shares means equity shareholders for 1,40,700. Now I can write here loss per share. Loss per share is equal to 1,40,700 by 15,000. You are getting 9.38 per share. 9 rupees 38 per share. Then you know that how we need to calculate. I told you list A, list B. Clear to all of you? We have done the list A, list B, the category A and category B. So now what I am writing here, calculation of net amount due or to be received. Calculation on net amount due or to be received. Here let me change it. This will be more appropriate because let me divide two parts. This is calculation of, this is working notes implied. Let me give this as a calculation of deficiency. I think this will be easy. Calculation of deficiency. And that this is point number 1, point number 2. Here balance available is nothing but deficiency. In this case, balance available can be surplus. Then we could have got deficiency to equity shareholders. Previous problem we got that surplus. Surplus in the sense balance available was something like say positive 700. Then deficiency will become 1,39,300. That's it. This is the difference you need to observe. Please, after listening to this, go back to the previous class, go back to the previous one. This is a unique model. This is very important one. You listen to this for twice again. Okay, not once. You need to listen to this twice and you need to make a note of it. This is point number 3. And loss per share is point number 4. Right, clear? This is calculation of net amount due or to be received from equity shares. So now we are having two class of shares. I'm assuming as A and B, category or type, whatever the name you call it as. I'm assuming as A and B. So here point number 1, paid up amount per share. Paid upon amount per share is 10 rupees. Here B 8 rupees. Point number 2. Less deficiency to be borne. 9.38, no? Here 9.38. I think you will understand it clear. So 0.62 positive means we need to pay to A category. 8 minus 9.38 means he needs to bring 1.38. Okay, so here third point is net amount. Here I am writing note. 0.62 is due to how many shareholders? A category. We are having 10,000 shares, no? To 10,000 equity shares. It is coming to now 10,000 into 0.62. Amount to be returned to fully paid shares. That is 10,000 into 0.62, you will be getting 6,200. Amount receivable, because negative means I told you, number of times I've explained. Amount due from, amount to be returned to fully paid shares, amount due from partly paid shares. Why should you assume that 6 rupees is due from him, 2 rupees is due from him? Why should we pay 1.38? Actually, you can see 2 rupees is due, no? Some people, they calculate as notional call received for calculating deficiency. Why should we assume that 2 rupees is received for calculation purpose? Some people, in some books, you may see that 2 rupees is to be taken as notional call received. Why should you get 2 rupees? Why should I pay? Got it. 2 rupees I have to pay. He has to give 1.38. Ultimately, how much you will be paying? 0.62, no? That way also you can do. When you look at the any suggested answer, sometimes the problems will be worked down on that. Don't need to panic. They take here we got deficiency. What they do is for calculating final deficiency, you assume that this 700 rupees is the deficiency. So this 1,40,700, what they do, they will be taking the number of shares is how much? 5,000. 5,000 into 2 they write. 5,002, it will become 10,000. So 1,40,700 minus 10,000, you will be getting 1,30,700. And that amount, will be taken as a deficiency. So don't confuse yourself by doing it. I think this is simple. So 9.38, amount due from partly paid shares, amount to be returned, amount received from partly paid shares is equal to, what is partly paid shares? 5,000, no? They ignore the notional call concept. This is simple. For every problem, we can do like this. 5,000 into 1.38. It is coming to 6,900. This will be taken to receipt side. This will be taken to payment side. Clear? Receipt side, and this is for information. I am writing examination. No need to write. This is payment. This is receipt. This is payment. Now we can go back to the problem. In the problem here, I am writing call on contributors. Calls received from contributors on 5,000 shares at the rate of 1.38 per share. So it is coming to, we have calculated already 6,900, and here you will be writing, return of money to holders of 10,000 equity shares at the rate of 62 per share. 6,200. Now you can see this has to be tallied. So 1 lakh total, 1,03,300 plus 1,50,000 plus 6,900. Let me go for totaling of it. It is coming to 2,60,200, and this has to be tallied. 2,60,200. Yes, tallied. So this is how you have to work out. Clear to all of you? For this, just for explanation, I think this is clear to all of you. If you want to really find out, call from um, partly pages. Alternatively, this is just I am explaining, because sometimes if you see any notes, uh, alternatively, I'm writing call from partly paid shares. I think this is just in case. In case call from partly paid shares means we are talking about this one, this particular point, how you got 1.38. No, this also can be done in other way around. Alternatively means for calculation of deficiency, for this particular point, alternatively just I am showing for only for information, whichever is convenient you can follow, you can decide, but to have a consistency, what we have done previous problem, same thing has been continued. You also can do like this: deficit before call from equity shares. We got 700, no, this one, this 700 I am writing here, 700 rupees. And now I'm assuming, I think you got 700 from where it is clear to all of you. Deficiency. This is, I'm talking about this deficiency, my dear friends. This deficiency I'm talking about here. Okay. And notional calls, notional call on, notional call means deemed to be have been made. Notional means deemed to be have been made at the rate of 2 rupees each, which is due, no? So 10,000. 10,000 plus 700. So 10,000 minus 700, 9,300. Suppose assuming that they have brought this 10,000. So net balance after notional call. In this way also you can do it. Net balance after notional call 9,300. Now you assume that 2 rupees has been paid, though. So number of shares deemed to be fully paid. Fully paid is 15,000, because you are assuming notional call has been made just for calculation purpose. In fact, you are not going to ask him to bring 2 rupees, ask him again making payment. This is only for notional call. So number of shares deemed to be fully paid is 15,000. Now refund. Therefore, refund on fully paid shares is equal to 9,300 by 15,000. You can take calculator, you can work out. 9,300 by 15,000. It is coming to 0.62. We got the same thing, no? Amount to be refunded. Now finally what we do? Now, calls on partly paid shares. In fact, for calculation of what is the amount due, we have written. So that means for B category shareholder, we need to pay 62 NP. He need to bring 2 rupees. Why should he bring 2 rupees? Why should you pay? We can go for net adjustment, no? So call on partly paid share is equal to 2 rupees minus 0.62. We'll be getting 1.38. That's it. In this way also you can do it. Whichever is convenient, whichever is simple, you decide. I repeat once again. First, what I have taken, deficit before call from equity share 700. Notional call, I am assuming it has been called. So it is coming to 9,000. Net balance after notional call 9,300. Number of shares deemed to be fully paid. After assuming that the notional call has been paid, 15,000 shares. Refund on fully paid shares 0.62. Now calls on partly paid shares. Since now you are making call, you should bring 2 rupees. I should pay 0.62 instead of he is bringing 2 rupees. I am paying 0.62. Finally, how much you can pay? 1.38. That's it. So this is what has been taken. This also we can do like this. Same thing we have shown here, no? 5,000 to 1.38. And what was the amount that has been paid here? 10,000 to 0.62. Fully paid shares you have paid. Partly paid share after adjusting amount due to him. Finally, how much he brought? 1.38. Clear to all of you? These two things you can work out whichever is convenient. So to get what is the amount which is to be collected from the shareholder, I have taken deficit before call from equity share 700. Notional call has been collected. Notional call means is deemed. Notional means deemed to be deemed to be deemed to be called up. We are assuming that deemed to be collected. We are assuming that the amount has been collected. So 10,000. So after adjusting deficiency, 9,300. This 9,300 is to be paid to whom? The shareholders. What is the share amount? It has to be paid. It has to be paid. 9,300 is available for how many shares? 15,000. 0.62. And since 0.62 to be paid to all shareholders, okay, for those shareholders who have paid fully paid, no problem. On 10,000 0.62 you can pay 6,200, but partly paid shares, the 2 rupees is due from partly paid shares. 0.62 rupees is due to them. Instead of we collecting 2 rupees, we paying 0.62, and how much he has to bring? 1.38. This is due to B category shareholders. Due to B category, this is due from. So due from 2 rupees, due to him 0.62. How much we can pay? 1.38. This is alternative explanation. When you look at any solution tomorrow, when you practice, I think you should not have any confusion. For that purpose, the alternative explanation also I have given. But when whichever is convenient, I am not insisting. Only my aim is to explain the concept, and the way you want to work out, you work out. Ultimately, the goal is you should get the right answer. Okay, my dear friends, if you want to try a few problems on the same models, I'll show you. I think you can work out similar problems, only values have been changed. Shall I give it as a homework to all of you? Okay, the two problems I'll show you. This one. Same ditto. This is 16 marks question. Share capital. Is given differently. 50,000 equity shares of 10 each fully paid. 25,000 equity shares of 10 rupees. Previous problem 10,000 and 5,000. Here it is 50,000, 25. Same. 13% debentures. Mortgage loan, same. Bank overdraft. Trade creditors. Income tax assessment. Completed in February 2016. Land and building. Sundry current assets. Debentures issue expense. Same problem. Mortgage loan was secured against land and building. The same thing we have worked out. Debentures were secured but floating charge on company was unable to meet the payment, and therefore debenture holder appoint receiver. Debenture holder, he bought the land and building auction, realized 8 lakhs. So out of 8 lakhs, he has to adjust 7 lakh, 3 lakh 50,000. 8 lakhs minus 3 lakh 50,000. 5 lakh 50,000 will be taken to receiver account. No, 4 lakh 50,000. Sorry, 4 lakh 50,000 will be taken to receiver account, and he bought the land and building. This is completed. He also took charge of sundry assets of value of 11 lakh 80,000. Total sundry current assets 21 lakh 80,000, out of which how much he has taken? 11 lakhs 80,000. Realize 10 lakhs means this 10 lakhs will be taken to receiver account. Okay, bank overdraft was secured by personal guarantee of the directors of the company, and on the bank raising a demand, directors paid off the date, personal resources. So bank overdraft will become current liability. This will be cleared by directors. This will be taken to liquidator statement. Trade creditors will be taken to liquidator statement. Preferential creditors will be taken to receiver statement. Debentures will be taken to receiver statement. I told you, this mortgage loan also, after adjusting surplus, will be taken to receiver statement on the receipt side. Same problem. Then cost incurred by receiver 9,750. This will be taken to receiver statement. 15,000 will be taken to liquidator. Receiver was not entitled to any remuneration, but liquidators to receive 2% of the fees on the value of assets realized by him. What is the value of rest of assets realized? Is 7 lakhs 50,000 into 2% will become remuneration of the the liquidator. Then Preference shareholders have been paid dividend for period after 31st March 14 have not been paid. 31st March 14 means we are in 31st March 16. How many years dividend is arrears is due? 2 years. Then he also given an interest for last half year was due to debenture holders. I've told you it's the same problem, only values have changed. I think you have to work out this, my dear friends. Huh? You have to work out this and you can do it. So that is debentures is 13% debentures, 7,50,000. 7,50,000 into 13%. That is for how many years? 6 months it is due, no? It is coming to 48,750. So the same thing, same problem. Prepare the accounts so to be submitted by the receiver and liquidator. I think you can work out this, my dear friends. If you want, you can see this. What answer I'm having? Let me give you. Surplus transfer to liquidator is 5,16,500. And then the same like previous one, I think amount to be paid is something like same answer you are getting 0.62. I think 0.62 is the amount to be paid. Same amount 0.62 to be paid means how much he has to bring? 2 rupees, no? 10 rupees per share has been paid. 8 partly paid. 8 rupees per share has been paid. So 2 rupees the B category shareholder has to bring. And 0.62 is to be paid. So 2 rupees minus 0.62, 1.38 you will be paying. Same problem, same model. The same, in fact, per share also you are getting same value. Just I will be giving this problem as a homework. And if time permits, again to have more practice, we are also having similar problem. This problem is we have done liquidated final statement account. This also you can do it. If you want, you can see that RTP material. This is about liquidated statement. This you can work out. We have seen this kind of model. Yeah, this is today's class. This is also homework. Loan on mortgage, 12% debentures, secured by land and debenture secured by floating charge on all assets. Debenture holders appoint receiver, the company being voluntarily wound up. Liquidator was also appointed. Receiver interest with task of realizing land and building fetched 7 lakh. Receiver also took charge of sundry currencies of value. Same bank overdraft was secured by personal guarantee. Directors would discharge their obligation full for personal resources. Cost of receiver amount 10,000, remuneration 15,000. Now only thing is that you got remuneration of the receiver that has been given. So 10,000 and 15,000 will be taken to receiver account. The liquidated expense 17,500 and remunerators decide 2% on the value of assets realized. The remaining assets were realized by liquidator for 12 lakh 50. 12 lakh 50 into 2% will be taken to liquidator statement as remuneration and his liquidator expenses 12,500. Preference dividend was in arrears for 2 years. He himself has given. Articles of association company provide for payment of dividend preference dividend in arrears prior to the return of equity capital. Prepare the account to be submitted by the receiver. In this case, you don't have any outstanding interest. That's it. Okay. So if that is the case, we can assume interest on debentures has been paid. Only one note you can write here. Since nothing has been mentioned, assumed that interest on debentures paid. That's it. Assume that interest on debentures has been paid. And again, this is simple thing like um, excuse me, the calculation of the efficiency, etc. You can work out the way we have done for the previous problems. I think that you can do it. Okay, my dear friends. The same problem. 8 rupees paid. So 2 rupees is the amount which is due. Finally, if you are getting positive amount, say for example, there is no deficiency. We have done one of our previous problem. There is no deficiency. Finally, you can make a payment. I think that is simple. Whatever you are getting, suppose if you are not having negative value, the way we got negative value, no? Just a minute. In one of our previous problems, we have done it in liquidator final. Suppose B category, suppose you are having positive value. 8 rupees minus, suppose if it is 7.38 for example. 8 rupees minus 7.38, just for example. This model we have done. 10 rupees minus, sorry, 10 rupees minus 7.38 for example. 2.62 you'll be paying to A. Then 8 rupees minus 7.38, 0.62 you'll be paying to B. It's not that always you'll be having negative. If there's positive, that amount will be paid. I think in this problem which we are going to work out, you'll be getting positive amount, I think. Okay. So the loss per share, I think you'll be getting for this problem. If I'm not wrong, loss per share, you'll be getting something like 5.25. Just a minute. Is it this one or the next one? Sorry. Not this one, my dear friends. November 18 problem. Loss per share, you'll be getting something like 5.25. I think you'll understand. 5.25 is loss. What is the amount which is due to fully paid? 10 rupees minus 5.25. 4.75 you'll be paying to A category. B category, 8 rupees. This is to A category. This is loss if you adjust. B category, loss is 4.75. What is the amount due from, what is the amount that has been paid by him? 8 rupees. What is loss? 5.25 loss. So 8 minus 5.25, you'll be getting 2.75. In this case, no negative. So amount is paid to A category shareholders, 4.75 into 1 lakh. For second category shareholders, 0.275 into 50,000. Clear to all of you? That's it. So 0.2575 into 50,000, it will be coming to 1,37,500, and 1 lakh into 4.75, 4,75,000. I think these two problems you can practice. Now only one model which are left out with is list B contributories, that we will be covering in the next class. With that, the liquidator chapter will be completed. I think you got the clarity. If you are getting negative, he needs to bring. If you are getting positive, we need to make a payment. Why we are paying only 2.75? Because yes, the amount due to him is 8. After adjusting loss, 2.75. Whereas here it is fully paid. 10 rupees has been paid by the A category. I think by this time it is clear. A class of shares or A category of shares. 10 rupees is due to the A shareholder. Since he has fully paid, loss is 5.25. You are paying 4.75. Think these models, whatever you have worked out the last 3 classes, including this one, please watchful, please work out. These are very, very, very important models. Practice it. Definitely you can get in the examination. And liquidator statement is a very good scoring opportunity chapter. I hope you all are following. We'll meet in the next class. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. God bless you all.